Hey everyone, how are you? It's Mr. Brown in the industry. Here we are. We're in the first week of August 2026, and we've got a lot of questions for you, and we've got some interesting dialogue to talk about. I have here, I've written down a few things, and things people have asked and things I've thought up that have happened to myself and others over the years. The first thing I want to get into, first of all, thank you for all your support that you guys have extended our way. I really appreciate it. You know, you guys checking in, saying nice things. I really appreciate that. So that makes us all feel good and encourages us to keep going. So let's check it out here. I have something here. I get a lot of questions about the normal stuff. You know, how do you get an agent? How do you get into the industry? How do you get into SAG? We've answered those questions not too long ago, but I'm going to venture off into some new stuff here. And check this out. This is something that a lot of people don't talk about or really don't know how to handle. Success. Think about this. This is success. I remember when I first got started, things kind of took off for me very, very quickly out of the blue. I mean, you know, overnight. And if you're in this industry and you're young or even new, if you're an older person or whatever, and let's say you have a manager, you have an agent, you go on some auditions or whatever, and you start booking jobs. This is the first time you've done this, right? And you start getting successful. You started getting some exposure. You're on television, you're in magazines, you may be on billboards, online. You know, when I started out, there was no such thing as online, but now, you know, things have progressed. How are you going to handle that success? So things are going to change very quickly, very quickly. So I remember that first job I did, and it was in the newspaper. I lived in San Francisco at the time, and my mother called me, and you know, she was like, "Oh my God, you're in the newspaper, this, that, and whatever." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" I was only 21 years old. I just wanted the money that I had made for the session. You know, I'm a young man at 21 years old and just out doing my thing. So exposure. I'm glad I came through that time then rather now, because with all the cell phones and the cameras and stuff, and I imagine it can be a little scary. But the thing is, things change. And also, people change. People change around you. You have to change to adapt to that. And what I mean by that is, this is kind of, I wouldn't say the ugly side of the business, but this is a side that I don't think is talked about too much, or people don't really expound on it a lot. So things start happening very quickly. You know, you start getting exposure, and I hate to say this, a lot of people may not have your best interest at heart. A lot of strange things will happen. And I'm saying this because I'm just being honest, and this is to protect people that are new to the business, or you're just starting out, or you haven't had any success yet. But when it hits, I'm going to tell you a few of the things that can happen. You'll start gaining friends that you never knew you had. The phone will start ringing. People have agendas. Let's put it that way. People have agendas. So when things took off for me, I was 21 years of age. People I thought were my friends all of a sudden were treating me differently. People wanted different things from me. People tried to use me. So what I'm trying to say is that you got to protect yourself. You got to have some strong boundaries. I remember a lot of people said, "Oh, Stephen, when you become really successful and this and that or whatever, don't forget about me." Well, that was always strange. What about you? You know, I'm doing my thing. You do your thing. I owe you nothing except friendship and respect. But people have hidden agendas. People can become jealous. People can become vindictive. Those who are closest to you, got to keep an eye on them. I'm not saying not to trust people, but you've got to keep an eye on people, because I've had things happen to me that weren't so nice, and I wasn't prepared for it. You know, you're just doing a job, and you know, you're doing your little thing there, and everybody else is starting to see you from a different point of view. And what I mean by that, you're on television, you may have a commercial, you may do a film, all sorts of things, but people will change on you. They'll start treating you differently. You'll have access to things that you normally didn't. That's another thing. Not everyone should have access to you. Not that you're better or you're special, but boundaries, healthy boundaries, especially young people who are starting out, young people. Make sure your parents are there or your managers to make sure that you're protected. away from a lot of weirdos in the business or life in general. You know, good parenting, people that have your best interest at heart. Even as an adult, you know, people are gonna run some little games on you. Oh, you've changed, or, you know, don't forget where you came from, all that nonsense or whatever. Stay grounded, stay grounded. What I mean by that is find out or know who you are and stick with that. You're gonna have to change a little bit because people are gonna start treating you differently, but they're gonna come at you differently. So make sure you're prepared. And sometimes if you're on a successful run, it can be a little bit lonely because you're thinking, okay, you know, who can I trust, or is this person have an agenda or whatever? And a lot of times, you know, and myself included, you can get your heart broken because people that you thought were there for you really weren't. I mean, I've had some crazy things happen. I've had where buddies' wives or girlfriends were trying to have access to me behind their back. And I'm looking and like, oh my God, this is not good. And the thing about it, I'm gonna share something with you guys, which is really important. A lot of temptations there, and a lot of things I could have done and crossed the line, like being with a friend's girlfriend or wife. But guess what? There's a price to pay. You get away with nothing in this lifetime, nothing. So, and also, you know, treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, that's always served me really well. So treat people the way you want to be treated. The devil works overtime if you're doing good and you're trying to do good. And, you know, there's many variations of hearing that type of story, whatever, but you got to watch yourself. And now is even more scary because when I was younger, there was no cell phones and cameras, all that stuff. So we were wild doing crazy things and nothing was caught on camera. Now, you got to be careful. You might find yourself in a compromising position, or video of something that may look one way might be something else, but somebody's going to use it as leverage or try to hold you hostage for whatever reason, you know, blackmail you. And that's a horrible place to be in. So I'm not saying being a monk, don't trust anybody or don't trust family, but be aware, be aware. And if you're around people and something doesn't feel right, get away from them, because that means something isn't right. It may not have revealed itself just yet, but if it doesn't feel right, get away. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about, is having success. And also the other side is don't let it go to your head. Don't get the big head. Don't think you're special, because you're not. None of us are special. We might be a little bit unique because we have different skill sets or talents, but no one is special. And once you start going down that path, I've seen people go down that path, and you get corrected very quickly, whether it's through other people or the universe or God or wherever you believe in. What goes around comes around. So, you know, be humble, stay humble, do your job, have fun. I'm not saying not have any fun, but have fun and try to help as many people along as you go along as yourself. But again, don't put yourself up on a pedestal. Don't allow people to put you up on a pedestal. You control the narrative. You know, I've had a lot of people blow smoke up my ass and Stephen, you're this and that or whatever. I know who I am. I've known who I am for a long time. And, you know, compliments here and there. Yeah, you nod your head, but don't buy into it. Don't buy into it, because once you start going down that road there, you're gonna pay a serious price down the line. So as quickly as the success can come, it can be taken away. So be mindful of that. All right, be mindful of that. So I've been a little long-winded on this particular episode, so I'm gonna cut it dry there. But you guys stay busy, stay creative, and again, keep in mind what I just shared with you guys. You know, if success comes your way and it's rapid or whatever, stay grounded, stay focused, make sure you got to get a group of people around you to protect you and people have your best interests at heart. But again, have fun, stay positive, and break a leg.